Let's just confirm that you have everything that you need on your tabletop for today. Today we are going to be learning the French tip techniques. And I say techniques because there's a variety of different ways to perform this technique, this service. You have yours to start off, your nail art packet. If you have your kit, you have your mat. So take your mat out. If you do not have your mat, no worries. You'll be using your tips. You do have your bag with all of your nail tips, all the different nail shapes. We're going to start with the square one. Okay? So you do need your bag with all of your nail tips. I'm sorry? Yes, you're going to still work on this index card, but you can add a new tip to it. Yeah, if you've used up all your square tips, now we're still on this card. But there's some nail tips in the back. If you want to load up some new nail tips and get rid of the ones you've previously done, that's fine. And then you're going to, and excuse my little red nail polish over here. I spilled my polish, so excuse that. And I didn't change it out from last class period. You need your polish remover container. Mine is small and pink, but yours is taller and bigger and white. You have your fingers. Okay, you have a nail polish, and you have a napkin, and the rolling up paper towels are on that table. If you'll pass them down, grab you one, and then fold it into a hot dog. And then your brush. This is the French brush. Okay, it is by Deborah Lynn, and it is a round tip brush. The tip is round. If you don't have your kit, there are some brushes on that back table. There is one right here if somebody wants to use this one. And if you want thick rubber bands for your kit, if you want to keep one in there, there are some more thick rubber bands here. Alright, anybody have any questions or need anything? Let's move this to the side. And let's get to our packet. If you open up your nail art packet to your, we're going to skip the sizing chart. We're going to come back to that. If you open up your packet to your nail art packet to your French tip page. Scoot this up so you have a good view here. Okay. And I dimmed down the light on the camera screen so you can see it on the TV screen because the light was off. Alright, so we're going to label this page, and we're going to label it French Tip Technique. The French Tip Technique is a classic. It's so beautiful, it's nice, easy, neat, clean, goes on any nail shape, easily done if you do it correctly. Okay? Today I'm going to teach you how to do it correctly. It's up to you if you learn the technique correctly and if you use the technique correctly from here on forward. The French tip technique is one of the easiest but hardest designs to do. Hardest because if you don't know the tips, tricks, and techniques and do them, it doesn't come out right. There are various ways, as always, to do these techniques. I'm going to teach you between today and tomorrow several of them. Okay? There's a couple of ways that I've learned in workshops over the summer or classes that I've taken that I will teach you how to do that way as well. But we're going to start off with the basic. So, let's go ahead and begin by doing our theory part. If you will, go ahead and highlight this top square. This square here is showing you the basic tools that you need in order to do a French tip application. The first thing that you're going to have here is, or are, depending on how many you have, your flat round, chiseled, angled, whichever, your brushes. Each brush does a different thing. You don't use a big, round, fluffy brush to do your eyebrows, right? Because then you would have caterpillar eyebrows. You want a thin, small, chiseled, angled brush to do your brows. Same thing with nails. If you're using if you're working on stiletto nails, then you need that chiseled brush. Or the long, thin, striped brush. You don't need the round one. It's not going to do you any good. Could you use the round one? Yes, you can. It just makes it harder to get those things done correctly. The next thing that you have is your acetone. Now, in this picture, we have pure acetone, which you've been using these last couple days, or 3 days. Okay? Acetone is pure product. It dissolves polymers, it dissolves plastics, it breaks it down. So, if you have acrylic nails, if you dip them in pure acetone or soak them in pure acetone, it breaks the plastic down, it melts it, and then your acrylic nails slide off because they become goo. If you have gum in the hair, you take a cotton ball soaked with acetone. The acetone will dissolve the gum, and the gum will easily slide out of the hair. If you were to have these markers on a tabletop that's got a plastic surface and you drop acetone, these markers will get stuck together to the table because it fuses the plastic, it melts. Imagine a package of gummy bears that you left in the car on a hot summer Houston day. Alright, what is that gummy bear bag going to look like? A blob, right? Same thing. So in your kits, with your product, don't ever lay it sideways. Always keep it upright. Make sure and make double, triple sure that you fully seal your liquids, especially the acetone. Acetone has to be placed in a special container. You can't take those little plastic Dixie cups or like a solo cup and pour acetone in there because it's plastic and it's going to eat through it. It's got to be a certain type of plastic and it won't eat through it. Okay? Bless you. If you have sticky residue on glass or something from a price tag or whatever, you can use acetone to remove it. Today, out on the counter, I have the purple and the peach. If you look over there, the gallons, that is polish remover. And polish remover mixed with a little bit of acetone, so it's a little bit of a stronger grade. Acetone is not good for the natural nail. It turns your skin white, kind of eats away at the skin. Okay, it dries it out really bad, so it's not good necessarily. But salons use it because it's quick, it works fast, and it gets the job done, and then salon time is money, right? Today we're going to be using the remover, or the purple, I think it's the purple one that has a little bit of the pure acetone in it, okay? So you'll see it takes longer for it to work. Alright, the next thing that you have on here is going to be your white polish. So, white nail polish for the basic, classic, traditional French tip application is crucial. Today in class, because I don't have enough white polishes to go around, we're going to use different kinds of colors. But typically you want the white polish. Okay? You're going to place that polish at the tip of the nail, okay, and then clean it off. Then, traditionally, you have a very pale pink polish. It's almost translucent or transparent. When you place the pink polish over the top of the white polish, it gives it a nice rosy color, but it does not alter the white too much. Okay? It is to complete your look. And the last thing that you have is your top coat. You can also use, the base coat as well. but the top coat. Now, please make sure that on your table you have these items at the most minimum. Alright, different ways to create the technique. This number 2 that we have here at the bottom of that square you just did, you see that the service provider is doing the nail French tip technique on the toes, and she's using a striper, which you've already known how to use. So what they do is they go horizontally on the toes and they create the horizontal stripe. You can do that with stripers or with a brush. Okay? Very easily done on the nail hands of the fingers or the the toes. Now if you go down a little bit, and I'm going to bump this up so you guys can see it. If you go down, you have your stiletto. Okay? Or not stiletto, it's not a stiletto. Okay? This particular nail is not straight across. It's absolutely not straight across. Whether you have an oval, an almond, a coffin, a stiletto, anything that has the long length on it, okay? You want to go from the midpoint of the nail to the tip to get a nice shape, to make the nail look longer. You don't want to necessarily start at the free edge like you would start with a short nail, because the length is what you want to create. So for this particular one, if we follow the steps, this service provider, you create a line on the right and a line on the left. So you make an X, or some people say a V. An X because the brush continues to flow in the direction. You don't just stop at the tip, because then you have like a little gob of product. After you do your V shape or your X, then if you look, you fill it in. So here on the sides, you fill in the sides to make it nice, smooth, fill in the rest of the nail tip. From here, then if you look at the bottom right, she did a line straight across, and then she filled it in, which gives you your final result. Do your outline first. Make sure you mark where your polish is going to go, and then do your fill. It's easier to fix your mistakes with the outlines than to come in and do the whole thing and then have to go in and fix a mistake. Okay? Let's take a look at this bottom right hand image that we have here. This is the cheat way. So we did a striper, okay, technique, and then here we're doing a sticker. So these are called tip guides, and you can't see, but they're like V shape and like a weird little bird shape. Okay, we will be using these tomorrow. So it's the sticker, just like yesterday's technique that you learned with the striping tape to create a sharp edge. You're going to put the crescent sticker at the tip, exposing the length of the nail. Then you're going to apply your polish in the 3-stroke technique past the tip. And then when you pull the sticker off, you are left with a perfectly nice smile line that is even if you put the tape or the sticker down correctly. If you have a square nail tip, yes, you can use the nail striping tape you used yesterday to create your French tip. Yes, you can. Just you gotta add a little step for filling in your angles. The last thing that we have here, the top right hand corner, okay, we have our steps. First, you do your manicure, push your cuticle back, cut the nail file, all that good stuff. Okay, then you do your base coat. Step number 3, you're going to apply your polish. Step 4, you're going to clean up the polish. Then step 5, you're going to apply your top coat. Pink coat. And then your step 6 is the top coat. Okay. The hardest part of a French tip application is making all 10 fingers identical in width from pinky to pinky. That's the hard part. Especially on the feet. Because maybe they have a big toe, big nail on the big toe, but then maybe they don't have a nail on the pinky toe. And you're trying to color the skin, and how do you make it match? So the toes are a little bit harder. Okay? Questions? Let's put this to the side. Okay. Let's bring over our nails. Let me just, that spot is just kind of crazy, so I'm just going to come over here with this spot and base. I got to change this out. Okay, so I'm going to be using a white nail tip so that you can see on the screen, but go ahead and take one of your square nails and go ahead and lay it or load it into your finger. Put your sticky tack in, load your nail. Okay, push it down. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create both of the different techniques. One is the classic technique and one is a modern technique. Okay, we're going to create both on one nail, once at a time. I'm going to use red so you can see it good. A good color to use to practice is always red. Okay. Alright, so you're going to take your polished bottle and give it a good shimmy. Turn it upside down and then right side up. Alright, when you are ready, you open up your bottle, and we have to work fast, okay? Open up your polished bottle. You're going to swivel the stem on the inside neck of the bottle. I'm going to tell you a secret. It's not even a secret, but if I call it a secret, you're going to listen. I'm going to tell you a tip. You're going to wipe the belly of the brush from heel to toe on one side, and then you're going to wipe the belly of the brush from heel to toe on the other side, just about removing all of the product on the brush. Hold your brush upright, and all of the polish that is inside between the bristles will come down to the tip to give you the perfect amount of polish needed for the French tip. We are going to make our pinkies kiss for stability. You're holding the shrimp finger with the tip pointing downward. You're going to do the 3-stroke technique on the tip only, trying to create a horizontal line. Go down the middle, push the bristles down, make them expand, slowly brush down. Go to the right, straight across next to it. Push the bristles down, let them expand and wipe down. Go to the left, push the bristles down, right next to it, let them expand and swipe down slowly. Okay, you created a horizontal line using the 3-stroke technique. Now, before it dries, y'all, we gotta hurry. Okay? You're going to take your finger and you're going to turn it upside down as if the nail is pointing upwards. You're going to push product out and load your brush. Now your brush is new. Your brush is new, so you're going to have to season it first. So pump your bottle upwards. The straw is going to pump product out into this little container part, a little bowl. If you don't have the bottle, just dip it into your stamping dish. You have to season your brush. So take your napkin and you're going to sweep your brush side to side gently. Load it with product, sweep it side to side. Load it with product, sweep it side to side. What you're doing, because the brush is brand new, it's got some gel or glue on it, so the bristles are nice and straight and smooth during transportation and packaging from the manufacturer to your nail tech table. So this brush is stiff. You don't ever want to touch your brush bristles of any kind of brush, because then the natural oils that you have on your fingers, it gets them on the brushes, and then they don't do very well. So never touch a brush bristle. Okay, after you sweep back and forth, the glue or whatnot is gone, and now your brush is ready. Hold the shrimp finger with the nail tip pointing upwards. You're going to load your brush with product. Make your pinkies kiss for stability. Take your brush, place it in the middle, and you're going to sweep side to side. You're going to swivel. It's going to take a minute. Like I said, this is polish remover. This is not acetone. Okay, so you have to let the polish remover soak into the polish to start the removal process. So you're sweeping, and then you turn your nail sideways. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a perfect smile line, or I guess this is a frowny face line. You're going to then wipe your brush by sweeping it on your napkin. Load it with product, with remover. Swipe it again to clean your brush. And then go back to your nail. Place the brush in the middle. And you're going to swivel side to side. Gently, slowly turning the nail, so that way you have a nice clean edge. And there you have it, the perfect French tip. Now, here's the mistake a lot of people do. They have too much product on the brush. Remember, the nail curves front to back, side to side, for the most part. So if you put a big blob of product at the tip, it's just going to roll off to the edges. And then you have bubbles on the corner tips of the nail. You have too much product. When you're trying to remove, it's like a step from the nail plate to the product, to the nail polish. It's chunky and it does not look good. The other mistake is that people use old nail polish when using French tip. It cannot be a thick lacquer, a thick nail polish. It's got to be very fluid, or else it's going to be chunky. Okay? There you go. There's your French tip. That's how you do the French tip. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do the reverse French tip. Okay? If you don't have a round brush, it's okay. A square brush, an oval brush, a pointed, they all work. It's just how you move it according to the shape of the nail is important. So, now we're going to do the reverse French tip technique. That's a modern day technique. So that means instead of the nail tip being colored, it's the cuticle area that's going to be colored. For this one, you have to have it on a finger. So if you don't have a finger, get you the little finger. You got to put it on a finger. Okay. Now, we seasoned our brush before we could clean. It took us a minute. So the polish dried. So it took us a while to remove the polish to clean it up, because it hardened. The solvent evaporated and it left a thin layer of the plastic. Now, like glue, right? When you're gluing something, you have some time to wiggle it around before the glue dries and sets. Same thing with polish. So when you draw something and you want to clean it up, you got to take it off quick. If not, it dries and it's harder to take it off. So this time, we're going to do the cuticle, the reverse French tip, and we're going to very quickly remove the polish to clean it up afterwards, and you'll see the difference of the two. If you're right-handed, your supply should always be to your right-hand side. You don't want to be crossing over. So have your brush, your napkin, and your remover ready. Pump out some remover so it's ready for you to go. and have your polished bottle ready to go. You're going to be holding the shrimp finger with the fingertip pointing downward. Let's go ahead and take our polish, swivel the stem, remove the polish on one side of the brush from the belly to the foot, from the heel to the foot, and heel to the foot on the opposite side. Hold your brush downward so the polish that's left inside will seep to the bottom of the brush and give you product to work with. Make your pinkies kiss for stability. You're going to do the 3-stroke technique, staying away from the cuticle. You have to create that crescent C shape, the moon shape at the cuticle. Push your bristles down, make them expand, and come down just a little bit. Go to the right. Push the bristles down, make them expand, come down a little bit. Go to the left. Put your bristles down, make them expand, come down a little bit. If you need to go to the corner edges, depending on how wide your nail tip is, you can. And then very quickly, load your brush. Put it down the middle and begin to swivel side to side. This time, because your polish is not fully dry yet, you're going to see that it comes off easier. So, you're going to swivel your brush and rotate your nail sideways to get those side edges. Clean off, wipe off the brush as you go, because if your brush is dirty, you're just smearing it everywhere. And you're cleaning up your edges. Nice and smooth. Sometimes it takes you 2 seconds. And sometimes it takes you 2 minutes. And that's okay. If you got product on the edge of the cuticle, or if you got product on the finger, you simply use your brush loaded with remover to wipe and clean it off. Now, stay away from the cuticle area when you're practicing, and you will eventually get good enough to where when you get close to the cuticle, you don't flood the cuticle. But for now, we're creating a empty space, a C shape at that cuticle area. So you should see the cuticle, then the nail tip, and then your color. That's how I promise you. If you practice that way, I promise you, you're going to be good at it. So many times people flood the cuticle, the nail wall area, because they use too much product, first of all, and because they get too close. But if you practice this way, I promise you're going to be good at it. Okay? So there you have it. You have the nail tip, French tip, and then you have the reverse French tip at the cuticle area. Questions? Alright. We're going to not be criticizing, but we're going to learn from each other. So go ahead and take your finger with your nail tip and pass it to the person to the right of you. If there's no one to the right, it's the person in front of you. So now take a look at your partner's nail and what they created. What can you learn? Wow, it's nice and clean, it's chiseled, did a good job. Or, dang girlfriend, let's work on that a little bit more, and that's okay because it's your first time. Okay, so what do you see that's right, and what do you see that's a little bit off? And what can you learn from it? We're not criticizing each other. We're learning and helping each other out. When someone looks at your work,
9:30 ADA attendance reminder.
When someone looks at your work and you know someone's going to look at it, you work a little bit harder. It's like, oh, okay, they're going to look at it. They're going to judge it, so let me work a little harder. So it pushes you to be better, okay? Do know that we're going to be doing that a lot throughout the year, okay, looking at each other's work. Now, with your partner's finger, go ahead and take your brush. If you need to adjust anything, go ahead and adjust it. Even it out. Maybe it's lopsided. Maybe he or she stained the finger. You want to clean up the finger, okay? Definitely a learning experience. Okay, when you're done, you can give your finger back to your neighbor. And then let's go ahead and get our mat. If you do not have your mat, you're going to be working with the nail tips of different shapes. I'm going to give instruction and then let you go. On your mat, you have the 6 nail shapes. You're missing one, and that's okay. And for those of you that have your working on your nail tips, you're going to take a nail tip from each index card that's previously shaped already. You're going to take a nail tip from each one, and you're going to do the French tip on each nail shape. Okay? So you're going to turn in 7 nail tips, or you're going to do 7 nail tips of the French tip. On your mat, if you're doing a coffin, right, you can apply your polish the same way. Okay? It is, you're working on a flat surface, so obviously you're going to go outside the lines, and that's okay. And then just like we saw in the picture, you do it by sections. Now, if you're working with the coffin and your brush is round, it might not work out very well for you. So in your kit, look in your kit that where you have the black little wrap, the container, the little pouch. Look for brushes in there. Don't use any of the other brushes that do not come in that package. Okay, in the black, this thing. These are for nail art. The other brushes, don't use them for anything. Okay? So till we get there. So find a brush that's chiseled, dip it into your remover, and then use that chiseled brush to create a nice, clean, smooth line on your nail tip. Okay? Make it nice and smooth, straight, even, thin. You can't necessarily use a round brush to create that shape or design for you in an easy way. Okay, so you're going to play and explore with those different shapes either on your mat or on your nail tips. Any questions? Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop it there.